What shall we do today? For this first video, I thought we'd start with Piccolo's iconic pose of him throwing away his turban. He does this numerous times throughout the series, but the one that we want to recreate this time in particular is when he's waiting for Nappa and Vegeta to arrive. Reason being is because he's got Gohan to his side. So what we're going to do is just recreate this, but try and go for a little bit more dynamic, kind of a crossover between this pose or this panel and the one when he's fighting Raditz. This one here. He's kind of leaning forward a bit more. So we're going to try and combine this pose and one from the Vegeta Nappa section. And we're going to go with a nice white background. Have Gohan on the left, Piccolo on the right, in the pose, about to take over his turban, throw away his cape, and we'll have Gohan there kind of ready, prepped for battle. Yeah, so let's get on to it. Okay, so I've got Gohan and Piccolo out of their boxes and basically ready to go. For Gohan, I'm going to go with the closed fists and also like the kind of snarling type of a expression he's got. He's going to be there prepped behind Piccolo, pumped, ready for battle, psyching himself up. And as for Piccolo, we're going to have him grabbing the hat with his right hand, and then we'll be throwing away the cape with his left. So I've set up the hands with ones that we need. Got the cape parts, the mantle and the actual cape. For face, not 100% sure yet. I'll try the default kind of smiling, smirking face, see what that looks like, and we'll also try the kind of shouting, angry look as well. See which one works best. To hold the cape, I'm going to use the Tamashii stand, and I've also got a second one here just in case we need it, and some handy blue tack. So this should be all we need for making the photo. To start off with, we're going to try and get Piccolo in the right pose. Not 100% sure exactly what we're going to need to do to him. So we'll have a wee play around, do some test shots, and see what looks good from there. So we don't need the cape or the stand at the moment. Move those off to the side, and we'll start by posing Piccolo. So we're going to want him stepping forward. Since he's picking his hat with his right hand, his leg needs to be going back. Generally want the opposite. If the left arm's forward, then the right arm needs to be back, and so forth. It's generally the most natural way of walking and moving. Let's try this. Since he's throwing it away at the back, it should be twisted down. Okay, so Piccolo's balanced pretty well. We're going to have Gohan just to the back here, and then for the cape. So while we've got him balanced there, I'm just going to put a very minuscule amount of blue tack underneath his foot. That way, if I bump the table that I'm working with or move things around, he shouldn't fall over. He's balanced pretty well at the moment, but could be on the safe side. Okay, sorry about the focus shifting off there. As I was saying, I've got Gohan just to the back of Piccolo, and the next part we need to put into the scene is the cape and mantle. So what I'm going to use to hold that up is actually just the standard Tamashii stand, and it's got the claws on the top, which I'll pop one off, and I believe the cape should be able to slot into that hole, because on the back here there's the attachment here which goes into the back of Piccolo, but instead, yeah, okay, so it fits in there quite loose, so that should be able to hold it up pretty well. Okay, it's good. Just to make sure it doesn't swivel around, I'm just going to get some of this blue tack, stick underneath. If we have that off to the back, yeah, that's cool. Okay, now we need to put the mantle on there as well. I think to hold this on place, again, get a little bit of blue tack. Just going to put on the underside. They can go over top. align his arm. So we've got a direct line through his arm into his cape, where you'd imagine it would be if you've just taken it and thrown it off behind you. Okay, now that we've got all the characters and the props in position, I'm going to take a couple of test shots, see what it looks like, and then from that point we can go through and fine tune the pose and making adjustments to the positioning of the cape and Gohan for the photo. Alright, so after looking at the test shots, it's close. It needs a lot of work though. He's definitely imitating Michael Jackson with this pose, I feel like. It's kind of like he's breaking out in a Bollywood dance or something, so gonna adjust his pose a bit more. I also grabbed the antenna head, and we'll see if we can incorporate this head instead of that one after we get the pose sorted, and hopefully they'll look a lot better. So just while we get this sorted, I'm going to move Gohan off to the side and then just focus on readjusting Piccolo's pose. Main things I want to do, the distance between his 2 feet, I feel like it's at a max stride, so I'm going to narrow this up as if he's just taking off. We'll adjust his head so it's more facing down towards his left arm and bring the neck part down a little bit, and hopefully that will straighten everything out and maybe sort of his hips around a little bit more. Excellent. Okay, let's get a couple more test photos. Okay, so we've finished with a couple more test shots. Overall, it's looking pretty good at the moment. Adjusted Piccolo's pose a little bit more with the way he's twisted and his boy's feet in a little bit more of the angle of the head and neck. I think at the moment it's looking pretty solid. Adjusted Gohan slightly. He's looking good as well. The next thing we want to do is make the cape a bit more dynamic. Being completely horizontal, a little bit boring, so we're going to try and get this up on an angle. Might need to use the second stand at the very back to give a bit more support, so I'm going to adjust that now. Okay, that's pretty cool. Question is, how far back do we want Gohan? I think just behind his back leg should be good. Looks like Piccolo's stepping out, throwing off his cape, ready to get into battle. So, yeah, I'm happy with the way they're looking at the moment. Next step, I'm just going to set up the camera on the tripod. Reason being is due to positioning for Piccolo and Gohan, getting both of them in complete focus and being completely sharp in the same shot might be a bit tricky, doing it handheld. So set up on a tripod that way I can do one photo for Piccolo, one for Gohan, then focus stack them in Photoshop. The cape, don't really care about that, having that nice soft blurred effect on it with the bokeh, I think will be a perfect touch for the photo. So what I have to do right now is make sure Piccolo does not fall over. Okay, so we've got those first shots done. I think they're looking pretty cool. Next step is going to be doing one with the antenna head. I thought it would be pretty cool to get it one with a single antenna just poking out, give it a little bit of contrast, make him look a bit more Piccolo-like. Just going to try some blue tack on the side of the turban. Not really sure how good this is going to look, if you can be able to see the blue tack or not, but hopefully in the camera we can get an angle where everything will be covered by his fingers. Welcome to the editing run through. If you'd like to see the editing done in real time, just leave a comment below and I'll upload a non-sped up version for you. The photo with him taking his turban off was edited the same way as the first, so I'm only adding the editing of the first image, which you saw just before. Before bringing it into Photoshop, I've just made some small adjustments to the saturation, clarity, levels, etc. Since this was taken with raw files. Now in Photoshop, I'm combining into one file and making a selection around Piccolo and Gohan to mask them. And then I'm just touching up the selections that the autocorrect didn't work too well on. Attention to the tiny details in the corners of joints, the legs, waist, and in the hair, etc. Really does help give you a more polished look, and it's definitely worth extra time spent in those areas. For the cape, since it's already blurred from the lens, I'm just going through with a highly feathered brush just to blend it into the background a little bit more. I'm duplicating the Piccolo and Gohan layer, one for reflections, one for no reflections. With the reflections, I'm actually using the clone tool to remove and clone out the reflections of the blue tack, as well as using the clone tool on several spots on the bodies of both Gohan and Piccolo. Finally, just giving the photo a 16:9 crop, because I thought this would work really well since it's got the two figures there and the cape off to the side. And then just using the levels tool just to give them a bit more contrast and to brighten up the cape. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's a lot of fun to make, recreating the scene. If you have a scene that you want to see recreated, just let me know in the comments below and I'll check it out for a future video. Also, if you've enjoyed this one, please hit that like and subscribe button, and thank you very much for watching.